All right, so day 4. This is it. This is the last run. We're going from, what is this, Richmond, Utah, through Las Vegas to Cerritos, California. 3 major goals for today. First goal, get home. That's the goal. There it is. 2, hopefully recover for, I guess, bogey. This many strokes off of activating a POTA. Try and do a POTA in Las Vegas. Try. And 3, get the car back today, so that, I can say, hey, we're done. I don't know that I could get 3 even if I didn't do the POTA, because they close at like 5:30, and by the time I'm all done having to stop for gas, restroom, food, etc., I don't know that I'll be back in time for that anyway at California local time in Cypress, California, which is where the drop-off spot is. So I'm just going to make my best go at it. I got up a little bit early. It is 6:18 right now to hopefully get an early start on the run. I gassed up last night beforehand, so as far as things are considered, I think I'm ready. Also, I'm feeling a lot better. Can you tell? Maybe. We are 1 hour away from Las Vegas, and I see this is really only 2 options I have antenna-wise. I've got the mag mount on the roof, which I'm still questioning its validity with the feed line, and I've got my C-clamp for like a table. So I think I can go to Gigaparts and get a ham stick or a 17-foot telescoping whip like the MFJ or the Chameleon. I'm leading towards the telescopic whip because those work, and they've worked well for me in the past. I will aim to be in there as fast as possible, fully mass, and maintaining my distance. I promise. Okay, thank you.
You got it.
Have a good, or I guess today's Wednesday. Have a good rest of the week. I don't even know what day it is anymore. Bye. All right, we got it. I got one 17-foot mast, so we can hopefully get on with this. I'm in Chinatown in Las Vegas.
Oh, I didn't know there was a Chinatown.
Oh yeah, it's huge. Keeps getting bigger too.
Oh, I had no idea. So you're not driving through the crowded part. You're on the outskirts, right?
Yeah.
Away from traffic?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
No, I wouldn't want to drive up the strip. That would just be a waste of time.
No, it'd be crazy. People are nuts.
But I do want a full yard of strawberry daiquiri for me to drive home with.
God.
So we're going back to the same POTA that I was successful at when I was here about a month ago in Las Vegas. When we came at it from from the last time, I was coming in from the north side of the Red Rocks. Now I'm coming in from the south side. So So we're gonna get a different vantage point going between these. Looks like these two little hills, two little mountains, and we're gonna see the red rock kind of poking through there behind them. You can see the formation in the back there. I hope anyway. Yep. There you go. There's the leftmost side of it on the right, just over the top of the hills in front of us. Wow, that's cool. That's not the most vibrant either. The most vibrant is towards the north end of the hills. Spring Mountain Ranch. Back to a successful POTA spot. We'll just go there again. Crossing fingers for a good luck charm on that one. We'll see. And there's the big red stripe. Look at that. It's so stark, the contrast between the upper and lower portions of the mountain and that big red line. Isn't that cool? I just love the look of that. Well, the good news is we got plenty of time to make this work. Assuming that it's not too hot, which it's 99 degrees out here right now, and I know that there's shade, I should be good. I'm feeling good. Sound like crap, but feeling good. I think we're gonna make this work. I think so. I'm positive and I'm confident. So here we go. All right, so I have the park literally all to myself. You can see this whole area is just picnic tables, which I can imagine they get pretty popular at different seasons, but I'm gonna try and find a spot with some pretty good shade, but not too much coverage. Thinking about right here. I'm gonna go straight up with the vertical. Hello?
Did you stop off at a state park?
I did. I stopped off. I gotta make at least one successful POTA. I haven't had one. Before I dive into this, there is something I want to mention about the Digi rig. Turns out that that spiked audio that I was seeing, that's because of the audio chip that's on here. However, there's a built-in attenuator. If you cut a solder bridge, it'll do a -10 drop on the dB, which makes this perfect on my Mac. It'll do the same for Linux. It'll work for Windows too, but my voice. So point being, we're gonna do WSJTX. I can't do voice right now. So I'm looking for a spot and I'm gonna start calling. There's tons of signals though, and everybody looks good. So I think this is gonna work, guys. All right. First one, A5H. So a reminder, I am doing this because FT8, because my voice is so bad. I'll try and make a couple of voice contacts, but I'm I'd rather just save my voice, heal up. All right, we got WL7CG. And yes, I am putting this in here as well, just to make my life easier. All in all, I'm pretty happy with this clamp thing. Assuming you got a hand stick or something like this, it's pretty easy to get a mast up in the air. This is the MFJ, the, what is it, $17.99? I'll append the bottom if I didn't tell you the right one. Uh-oh, the contacts are drying up. Better post a tweet about it. W4POT with a +2? Always be transmitting. So Mike is texting me right now. He's like, does single sideband suck right now, or why are you doing FT8? Because my voice, Mike. My voice. Whoa, +14? Oh no, that's what I sent him. So this should be an easy one. KA0AZS. I'll take a -15 for your +14. No problem, sir. N4OG with a +8. Come on. Save my voice. I'll go back and double check my FT8 log as well for all the completeds, but I'm pretty sure -16. I'll take it. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Alec. Appreciate it. So what's that make us? 8. Oh, we got a dupe. Shoot. So we hit a dry patch there. Hopefully you can see this okay. It's going to be a little dim. I'll try and adjust it in edit, but turns out somebody was on my frequency. It was right there, and really, really loud station. So AI5DD, you're in a -12. Hope we can make this work. No, he's not hearing me. And there's not much I can do. I've got this, this is putting out all the power that it can. There's nothing else I can do other than, ooh, it's getting warm. No SWR though, let's see. We'll double check that just in case. You can see where I started out like 23 minutes ago, an hour ago. I got coast to coast, and now it's throttling back a little bit to the East Coast. It's pretty interesting. You can see that by looking at the minutes, like where you hit an hour ago, 30 minutes ago, 1 minute ago, and compare and contrast them. But I'm hitting north, hitting further north. Oh, boom, and then a whole bunch of, whoa, okay. All right, KF9WW, you're a +6 to me. Gotta be able to hear me, right? -16, okay. Illinois, I was just there. W5TP with a 0 dB. Let's see if he can wrap this up for me. Great. It rhymes. -15. Got it. Okay. We'll get you. We'll get you W5TP. He sent a -15. He can't hear the other side of it. I'm calling you back. Calling you back. Let's go. Yeah. Okay, W5TP, you're good too. You got it. All right, I'm calling that a victory. So we got the 10. I'm getting out of there. In fact, I'm going to shut the computer down. Don't need it anymore. Oh, it's a hot radio. That is a hot radio. I don't know that it's okay with me running it that hard. Probably not. Let's find the POTA spots. We want mode. Cape Cod's probably too long of a run. Not looking too good. Let's get you in on this. This thing is very warm. Wow. It's, bands are not good. Bands are not good right now.
Well, you got some ears on it. This is 20 meters. This is way up the band. It ain't supposed to work here, but it's working. Well, actually, we went to a 7 just then.
Nope. I'm calling it. I'm going home. I'm gonna start the pack up process. Ooh, wrong way. There we go. I'm gonna start the pack up process. I'll leave the radio going until the last minute, but I think that's gonna be it. So yeah, I got one park done. Had I planned this, I would have definitely brought 100 watts and a different antenna. I think you know that though. I don't think I have to keep repeating that. There's somebody, but not the station I'm trying to get. Yep, that's it. Packing it up. Couldn't hear it. Well, I'm incredibly glad that I could close out that POTA. So I got one. A little bit compromised. Not what I would have taken gear-wise traditionally, but we did it. Thanks for your help, everybody that made a contact with me today. Alright. That's it, Kia. You're a good car, Kia. Let's do the walk around so they don't say I damaged it. Here's what Long Beach Airport looks like. I don't get through here many times. Nice airport though. Well, I'm home, and I'm glad to be here. Right up top, I want to say a big thank you to Leia for all the work that you did in just everything, aligning that couple of hotels that I was going to stop at, and finding some POTAs to go to. My favorite part of all of this was the surprise that was the Goblin Valley. I knew what the Goblin Valley was, but it pales in comparison to seeing it in person. It's quite impressive. I think what's the coolest part about it is, at least at that Valley 1 area where I shot that POTA attempt, you can hike down in there. And if you remember a couple years back there, I think it was like a Boy Scout troop that actually pushed over some of them. I don't know that those were in the Valley 1 proper area, but yeah, it was kind of like local community outrage about that. I was in California and I was upset about it. It's really cool that you can get that close to these natural formations and see them in their glory. They actually are really, really cool. You can actually camp there. In fact, when I went there, when I was buying my parking ticket, the ranger mistook what I was asking him for and charged me for camping. And it seemed like they have spots that you can just drive up to and camp. So that's super great. I would highly recommend that. Second favorite thing was that entire drive. Once I got out of Denver proper and started getting up into the mountains and going over the Rockies and then down into Utah, that is some storybook level mountain structures, land masses that you just don't see. I was trying to explain the immensity of it to Leia over the phone. Those evergreen trees being so densely packed going up the sides of these massive mountains, it's just really hard to capture in video format. And obviously I was using like a GoPro on the dashboard, and that's just not going to do. It's not going to capture the majesty of it. You really should go see it yourself if you're so inclined to do so and so interested in. Now, I would like to talk a little bit about the whole radio debacle. A lot of you saw that I had the 818 with me, and you might have wondered why versus the 705 or just any other radio. And here's the simple reason. When I was going out to the gathering, Dave Canterbury's whole event, the reason why I flew out to Ohio, my talk on emergency communications was leveraging some of the radio equipment that Dave already had, including his 705. So I brought the 817, 818 to kind of be just another item that goes on the table. Truth be told, I do find that this packs pretty well in my travel bag. The flat-bodied radio of the 818 packs really well in this little bag with all of its stuff, whereas the 705 kind of packs like a water bottle, right? Like a big fat water bottle that you have to fit into different places. So I just went, okay, Dave's got the 705, I'll take the 818, and then we'll have a nice couple of HTs on the table for me doing the talk, and then I'll be good to go. And now regarding antennas, I brought two. I brought the Chameleon Tactical Folded Dipole, or Tactical Dipole Mark II, or the second gen. Anyway, the Tactical Dipole, that did go up with the Vinton County Amateur Radio Club, which you saw on that vertical mast. I did make a bunch of content on that antenna, and I will be doing a review for it in the future. The idea was that was all supposed to go back in that bag and come back with me, but once I got COVID, I told the really nice amateur radio club, I told those guys, I'm like, just keep it. This is already kind of in your wheelhouse. They love emergency communications, and they already have a really nice mass system to leverage this antenna. I said, you know what? You guys just keep it. They were really excited to use the antenna, and they used it for most of the weekend, and they had a really great time with it. I also had this antenna I'm testing, which is the GRA 7350T. It's Amazon. I'll link in the description to it, but it's titled as a CB HF 3.5 and then 3.5 megahertz to 7 through 30 megahertz and 50 megahertz broadband telescopic portable ham antenna. So this is like the middle child between a Wolf River coil and the toy box antenna. That diamond toy box antenna. I hope it's diamond. I always screw that up. I'm pretty sure. Comet toy box antenna. It's right in between there. The whip is bigger than that of the toy box, and this matching coil is also much bigger. It's also kind of like a shrunk down super antenna. It is immensely more portable and packable than a take it along, but it's more effective than the toy box. So it fits a sweet spot. It packs down really nice, and there is a coil that goes along with it. The issue is that it is a PL 239 on the bottom. So how I've been using it is with this eBay spike. I picked up this eBay spike. It's really quite simple. There is a connection on the top. There's a connection on the side for a coax. There is a big spiky bit. And then there's two Allen keys on the side that you can use for mounting radials. Now this is great when you're just driving around and you need something portable. This all kind of packs down and can fit in a backpack really easy. The problem is that this spike ain't getting on an airplane. So when I pulled this off, I didn't replace this bit, the PL259, with something that would connect to my Chameleon clamp. So the clamp is what I ended up using on the POTA activation today that was successful. So I know I'm rambling, but I think this is important. These don't line up. This is for like ham sticks and stuff, and you could put the Wolf River coil on the top of this. I'm mainly doing this to give you guys some good ideas for mobile antennas. The Take It Along 1000 or any of the Wolf River is a really good antenna, and you can see it mounts onto this clamp just fine. This clamp's really expensive. I don't actually know that it's available at Chameleon anymore, but what makes it really nice is that obviously you can clamp it onto like a park table or anything kind of flat-ish. It's got a connection for radial system, and again, you can put any kind of ham stick thread onto it, including the Take It Along 1000, which makes it really easy and adaptable for different situations. Another example, if you want to like go big or go home, is the manual MFJ 1664, which is the manual screwdriver that you could put on a car, for instance. Well, guess what? This slaps right on the side of this. But ultimately, At the end of the day, what I ended up going with was matching the C-clamp with the MFJ 17-foot telescopic mast, or telescopic antenna. By the way, Chameleon makes one of these too. I'll add on the screen what exactly the part number is, because they both have kind of odd part numbers, and I definitely am in the middle of COVID brain right now. But this is literally a 17-foot telescopic whip. You just pull the elements out. Now, that makes this perfect for 20 meters, because you basically go all the way up with it. You attach a network vector analyzer like a Nano VNA or a Stick Pro like I have, and then you just walk it in until it's on the frequency you want. You're physically tuning it at that point. You're literally pulling in elements until you're right on the money. So I would set it up vertically and then just slide the element in and then step back and look at the antenna analyzer. That's all I did until I got right in the sweet spot, and then I was good to go. And that's what I operated with. It took me about 5 minutes maybe to set it up, and I used a bundle of radio wire that I had already pre-made. It had about 4 wires that were roughly, I'd say 15 feet or so, that were bundled together with an automotive U spade connector, and that just went into the side of the little bracket. And that's all there was to it. Now, not the greatest antenna, but it worked for FT8. I probably would have been able to do single sideband, but my voice is just barely getting better, and this is a day after I've already gotten home. Morse code, of course. Every time I get in a situation like this, I'm like, boy, I wish I was just better with Morse code. And to be honest with you, if I was in a mental place that I could have really made a go at it, I might have tried it. But truly, and let me bring it all the way back over to COVID. A lot of you commented, thanking me for making the video series and taking everybody along and, whatever. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Some other folks obviously went down this political rabbit hole about COVID. I appreciate you may not like how the country, the world handled COVID. I don't care. I got sick. The little plastic doingy said I had COVID. So I treated it as I had something that was really contagious, and I didn't want to give it to anybody. So that's why I drove home. At no time during this trip was I ever in a situation where I wasn't in control of the vehicle. I felt completely safe all the time. I was not drowsy or groggy or zoning in and out or anything like that. I was congested. I was coughing. I was sneezing. Not a lot, but I was sick. I had a proper cold. Didn't feel like the flu. It felt like less than that. So I'm just kind of lucky. Whatever version of whatever illness you feel is out there that I got, it wasn't that bad. So no, I wasn't in a dangerous situation or putting anyone else in a dangerous situation. I was fully in control at all times. And even though that trip through Kansas was really long, that was actually the day where I felt like the best and in the most like I'm good. Also, it's a really straight road. 70 just goes through Kansas and you just kind of roll with it. Speed limits and speeding. Somebody mentioned that they really just saw me passing people and that there must have been a lot of slow drivers. For everybody that is Colorado and west of the Rockies, this is going to make more sense to you than everybody on the east, I think, or metropolitan areas. People on that road on 70 and actually through all of Ohio and Illinois, etc. If you are traveling at the speed limit or maybe slightly faster in the fast lane, people will leave the fast lane, move to the right lane, and let you pass them. They have actual laws in those states that tell people they need to stay, if they're going slower than the passing traffic, to the right. Bravo. That's exactly what people should do. And in fact, I did as well. If there was somebody who was coming up too fast, I slide to the right and I let them keep going. Because there's nothing more dangerous than having people zooming in and out of lanes. So if you're parked in the left lane and you see someone coming up behind you, move over. You don't have to stay over. Just let them go. Let them go by. Kansas, Ohio, Illinois, Missouri, all the states I passed through like that, good on you guys. That's exactly how things should go. Most of Colorado was like that too. The Denver area, man, people were really aggressive drivers. Anyway, now I traveled at the speed limit. Most of the time, the speed limit was 75 and in some cases up to 80 miles an hour. And so, yes, I set that cruise control and I went. I was cruise control for most of the trip. And again, another big recommendation for people, just leave cruise control on. Control everything with cruise control. Not only will it make your legs and feet feel a lot more comfortable, you'll save a ton of gas because it's just doing everything for you without you having to do this pulsey thing, making your engine run less efficiently. Just use the cruise control. Please, everybody, please stay to the right and use your cruise control. 2 big tips, please. I think that's where I'll leave it. I had the best time of the worst time, if that makes sense. I was making the best of the worst situation I could be in, I imagine. I felt very helpless when I was standing in that hotel room in Jackson, Ohio, with a positive COVID test, thinking, what the hell do I do now? And again, nothing wrong with Ohio. I just didn't want to stay there for 10 days. There's only so much fast food and those type of restaurants that I can eat because I had no capability to cook for myself or do anything, which made it kind of difficult. When Leia proposed driving, it sounded like a daunting task, but it was something that I could be in control of. And since I already had all of the equipment to try and make a go at it and record it and attempt a POTA, which I was successful once, I'm proud of that. That's why I did it. And again, thank you to Leia for giving me the latitude to do that. I mean, we really didn't have any other option. Otherwise, I'd still be sitting in Ohio right now, which arguably this is probably still the better case that I just drove home. I highly recommend, and particularly for young families with younger kids, I really recommend you try to do something like this. I'm not exactly sure the route that I would recommend, but I know that I would include Utah and Colorado in the drive. And I think going through Kansas is probably one of the fastest ways of doing it to get over to places like Ohio and other parts of the country that are really green and lush, and there are interesting things to see, historic monuments. There's multiple instances of where I could have sat down and pulled up Google. Again, I wasn't stopping, but if I didn't have COVID, I could have stopped at all these different roadside attractions, historical monuments, etc. But I found that actually just paying attention to the road signs that were actually out there made it really easy for me to just say like, oh, I could have just hopped off there. Oh, Zion's that away. Oh, cool. There's a war museum over here. There's a historical Civil War site over here, back when way in the beginning. All that stuff is, you could just do it, right? There's no reason you need to necessarily have like a hard plan. I know that's crazy for a lot of people to think about, but the road signs and just kind of going for it, if you had like 2 weeks or something like that, you could probably make a pretty good go of making like 1 stop or 2 stops a day at some pretty interesting roadside attractions and be pretty surprised by what you find. I'm constantly impressed by the humanity of the people you bump into when you're just in the middle of nowhere. Shout out to the motel. He's either the owner or the manager in Utah, the Best Western that I stayed at. Really funny guy, nice guy. And, you know, talked to him briefly, but you could just tell he had a warmth to him. And there was just a humanity there, right? In dealing with people and helping them out, that I just really impresses me when I run into it. Now I'm rambling. Thanks everybody for watching this. I hope this was as enjoyable as it could be. It's complete chaos on wheels. I get it. And I appreciate that. It's kind of how my life is. This is really like a condensed version of the chaos that I often find myself in. Constantly changing gears, high-minded goals and pursuits, and just always pushing it. That's what it feels like sometimes. Anyway, 73, everybody. If you enjoyed this and you enjoyed that whole last 3 days of videos, give this one and those other ones a thumbs up. And if you haven't, consider subscribing. Thanks again for taking the time. Your support is always appreciated. If there's anything you're interested in purchasing ham radio related, please avail yourselves of the links down in the description. Check out the Amazon store, check out the affiliate link page on hamradiocrashcourse.com, and of course our merch store, hamtactical.com, where you can get some cool ham radio swag. I am wearing Steve K5ATA's logo. No reason other than this is the first shirt I grabbed and I went to sleep and I'm wearing it. Steve, you're a great guy. Take it easy, everybody. I'm out of here. See ya. Well, I'm home. Is that clipping? Ah. Looks like it's clipping. Everybody I met out there was super nice. I did keep my distance as much as possible. Oh, great. There's a helicopter.